on, Building Modeling, Special Elements and Functions. In this video, you will learn to define the structural elements having special properties, in the ETABS software. This is the plan and 3D view of the building model, that you are going to make. It is a G+7 building, having some inclined beams, and some columns oriented at an angle, as shown. The beams and columns are having a section of 350 mm by 350 mm each, while the slabs are 150 mm thick. The beams, columns, and slabs are of reinforced concrete material, having concrete grade M30, rebar grades HYSD 415 and mild 250, for longitudinal and lateral reinforcement respectively. Use Auto Draw Cladding option, for the walls. Open a new model, from the File menu of ETABS. Change the usual settings, in the Model Initialization dialog box, which is exactly similar to the previous exercises. In the Uniform Grid Spacing option, set the number of grid lines, in X direction as 5, and in Y direction as 4. Set the spacing of grids, in both X and Y as 3. In the Story Dimensions option, set the number of stories as 8, and the typical and bottom story height as 3 each. Select the Grid Only option, and click OK. Once the grid is ready, define the necessary properties required to model the building. In the Define menu, go to Material Properties. Click on Add New Material, and add the M30 concrete grade, by choosing Region as India. Material as concrete, and Standard as Indian. Once M30 is added, add the rebar materials, HYSD 415 and mild 250 grade, like you had done earlier, by choosing the rebar option from the material type. After defining the three material properties, define the beam and column frame sections. Go to Section Properties in the Define menu, and select Frame Sections. Click on Add New Property. Choose Concrete Rectangular, and select the rectangular shape. Then give a name for the beam, of cross-section 350 mm by 350 mm. Change the material to M30. And give the depth and width values, as 350 each. Now, select the Modify/Show Rebar option, to set the reinforcement properties. Change the design type to M3 Design Only, and the longitudinal bars to HYSD 415, and tie bars to mild 250. Change the cover to 25 mm, in both top and bottom, and then click on OK. Click on OK again, and the beam has been defined. Similarly, define the column section. Select Add New Property. Choose the concrete rectangular section. Give the column name, and change its material property and section's depth and width. After that, select Modify/Show Rebar, and this time select the design type as PM2/M3, and again change the material for longitudinal and tie bars. Make sure the clear cover is 40, and click on OK. Click on OK again, and both the column and beam frame sections are defined. Select OK, to exit the Frame Properties dialog box. The slab section is not yet defined, so define the slab section. Go to Section Properties in the Define menu, and select Slab Sections. Choose Add New Property. Give a name to the slab section. And change the slab material to M30. And thickness to 150 mm. Click on OK, and the slab section is defined. Select OK, to exit the Slab Properties dialog box. You will use the Auto Draw Cladding option, so you need not define any walls. So all the required properties are defined. In the next video, you will learn to draw these special elements, using special functions in the software. Thanks for watching.